Just minutes ago, President Obama approved a disaster declaration for West Virginia. 9 counties are dealing with a chemical spill. It contaminated the water supply. Up to 300,000 people are being told not to touch the tap water.
And another big story now, a new and unsettling twist in the story of all those Americans with contaminated water in their homes in West Virginia. Thousands have been told the tap water is once again safe. But tonight, a new warning: pregnant women should not drink it.
Authorities say 7,500 gallons of a toxic chemical used to process coal leaked into the Elk River on Thursday from Freedom Industries, a company just upstream from a water treatment plant.
Meanwhile, FEMA is on its way here to Charleston to help deliver water to those residents who can no longer turn on the tap.
They brought every kind of container they could find, jugs, bins, and bottles to fill up, as the people of Charleston, West Virginia learn just how precious clean water is.
The chemical could be harmful if ingested in large amounts and could potentially cause eye and skin irritation.
The chemical flowed into the Elk River, contaminating West Virginia's water supply.
26 years it hasn't been inspected, so if it had been certified every year like they're supposed to do, then we could have avoided this whole situation.
I was live on the air when the governor's first tweet went out basically announcing that this had happened. And at first, we didn't really know what that meant. And so I immediately sent a note to our assignment editor and said, check into this, let's see what this is. During the commercial break, we'd gotten a little more information. We'd confirmed that yes, this came from the governor's office and it is a do not use order. And it quickly became clear this was not a boil water advisory. This was something much more serious.
During the water crisis, it truly was the 7 stages of grief, because no one knew how to react. When I first found out about the water leak, I was actually in Ripley working for the day, and it was on Twitter. I'd just checked briefly, and there was a proclamation from Governor Tomblin that said, do not use the water in Charleston. I didn't know what else to expect, and I was just looking for more answers, as everybody was, I'm sure, but it was just kind of a panic thing, thinking that the water is out. And your gut check when the systems that you rely on every day fail is panic.
In short, it was a mess. I was lucky. I had water, but that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy for a little bit. So I was very, very fortunate.
Living in Charleston, we were just as affected as anyone else. So the first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. Bottled water, bar of soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do. So
our staff, our reporters, their families, many of them, I think nearly all of them, they lived in apartments and in homes where they didn't have water either.
What we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us, and we see it when we realize it when it's gone. I mean, we have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here.
This was not handled well, in my opinion, at multiple levels. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact we were in uncharted territory. Some of it, I think, of our own making, some of it not. This was a chemical that we knew about and had been a part of the coal industry and the cleaning process for a number of years, but had not been studied very extensively. And so there was a scrambling at the beginning to just gather information to share. You know, what are the effects? What are the potential hazards? What should we be telling people? And not just as the media, but what should the Department of Public Health be telling people? What should the water company be telling people?
City and state officials were more concerned in the immediate aftermath with tax revenues that were being lost as a result of the hotels being empty than almost anything else. There was a picture floating around the internet that had Governor Tomlin in it that said, "I couldn't tell you if the water system's safe, but I can tell you that the Greyhound track is open." And I think that is a really nice way to sum up the knee-jerk attitude of our elected leaders.
People need to advocate for their community and for safety in their community, no matter what it is. But when it comes to something as essential as water, know what's going into the water. Know how your water is processed. Understand what potential hazards there are along the waterways which feed your particular system. And hopefully, we'll keep something like this from happening again.